All right, we have a question from our friend Hai. He is from Vietnam. He's been practicing MMA and boxing, and he's been watching the channel for some time. Okay. And our friend Hai, he seems to be losing his hair. He's training at home, and he's noticing as he does this, he finds hair falling out on the floor, and he's wondering if he's doing something wrong. He's wondering what's happening. Why is his hair falling out? Okay. There are a lot of potential reasons for that, but I'm going to tell you something. 20% of the men in the world start losing their hair at age 20. By age 40, about 40% of the men in the world will experience at least partial hair loss. By age 60, that number goes up to 60% of men start to bald or experience baldness to some form. And on and on. Those numbers increase almost at the same rate as age. I started going bald at the age of 21. By age 22, boom, gone. Bald. Quick. A lot of guys, they fret going bald for a very long time. They're like, oh, my hairs are coming out. What am I gonna do? Ah! And they stress themselves out over it. It's this big, world-destroying, paradigm-shifting experience for them, and they don't know what to do, and they lose their minds, man. It's normal. It's natural. Unless you're like living next to, I don't know, man, a nuclear reactor or something that's leaking radiation. It's causing some sort of untimely hair loss. I don't know. Probably not. Statistically speaking, what you're experiencing is male pattern baldness. And it's more rare in Asian populations than it is in the West, but it still happens. It still happens. China, for example, per capita, has fewer bald people than, say, Europe, but because China has the most people in the world, it has the most bald people in the world, too. As far as numbers games, Asia wins at everything, because they have the most people, right? So, it sounds like you're going bald, and that's okay, man. That's okay. I know a lot of people freak out. It's okay. When I was younger, I have an older brother. You've seen him on my channel, my older brother Joseph. He's 7 years older than me, and he went bald 7 years before I did. And I remember when I saw him bald for the first time, I thought, well, I guess this means I'm going bald. And so I got acquainted with that idea very quickly, and I was like, okay, I can deal with that. My brother, he didn't die from baldness. He's a happy human being. He's fine. I'm going to be fine. And that's okay. So I went bald, and that's fine. And I'm okay. And you know what happens when you go bald? People start comparing you to every single bald celebrity out there. They'll start saying, hey, you look like Jason Statham. Hey, you look like Bruce Willis. Hey, you look like Yul Brynner. You look like Michael Jordan. Yes, I have heard that one. And every bald celebrity you will get compared to, you look like Billy Corrigan. You look like that dude from The Mummy. Anyway. So that's a little annoying. People ask you some silly questions. People make some silly jokes. But at the end of the day, it's your hair, man. It's your hair. The biggest drawback, you go outside in the cold and your head gets colder faster. Oh well, wear a hat, man. Then people start commenting on your hats. Why are you wearing that hat? That's kind of a weird hat. That's a cool hat. People are so fixated on what other people look like. Going bald is a great way to learn how little that actually matters. So embrace it. Love it. Love yourself. Learn to love yourself, man. That's some of the wisest advice, not just for life, but for fighting also. Bringing this back to fighting. I've told this story before. I'll tell it again. I had a couple of students from Russia. And one of them was a really tough, gritty guy. And the other one, not as much. And they were sparring with each other, and the tough guy beat up the less tough guy a little bit, and the less tough guy was like, oh man, I'm bummed out about this, I'm depressed. And this tough, grizzled Russian guy comes up to his friend, and he's like, you must learn to love yourself. My eyes almost popped out of my head, like, this is really coming out of his mouth? Wow, this sounds like Oprah, with a Russian accent. You must learn to love yourself. I can't do a Russian accent, man. He said, because when you learn to love yourself, when you truly love your own body, flaws and all, you will never, ever let anyone hurt it for any reason. Thanks for your question. Good luck. Now get out there and train.